Okay, we'll get rolling here. Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Harrison. I'm with the Statewide Equity Office, which is part of the Department of Personnel Administration. Today's presentation, we will be discussing tools for success in state of Colorado procurement. And we will also have our special guest today from the Department of Agriculture, which will be talking specifically about how you can work with Department of Agriculture for business, and then also some of the areas where they could be needing assistance. Our agenda today, we'll do a brief overview of our office in the Statewide Equity Office, and then we will talk a little bit about public procurement. And then after that, we will hand it over to the Department of Agriculture for their presentation. And we ask that if you do have questions, feel free to drop those in chat. We will not address any of the questions until the end of the presentation, which we hopefully will have time at the end to address any questions that you do have. Our office was established in statute after a 2020 disparity study, which found that the state had barriers for underutilized and historically underutilized businesses in working in state procurement. Our office works to eliminate some of those barriers and help businesses that are interested in working with the state have tools and resources so that they can be successful in state procurement. We offer solicitation assistance and where you could locate resources for your business when it does come to either just developing your business, looking for procurement opportunities, or how to respond to solicitations. Our office provides a free navigator, which can help you navigate state procurement and where to find, again, opportunities and to locate procurement resources. We also operate a free supplier diversity directory, which we'll talk about a little bit later. This directory is designed to help procurement officials locate historically underutilized businesses. And it's also a great way for you as a business owner to market your business free of charge, as the directory is public facing. We also offer a construction assistance program so that you can navigate the construction processes with the state. If you're not familiar, the state has two different ways of doing construction, if it's either vertical construction or horizontal construction. Vertical construction is managed through the Office of the State Architect and her delegates, and vertical or horizontal construction, typically bridge highway construction, is managed through the Colorado Department of Transportation. And then lastly, we'll be sharing some business and training resources for you as well. The Colorado Supply Diversity Navigator, again, it will assist you, help identify opportunities and help you sell your goods and services to the state of Colorado and the agencies associated with the state, including institutions of higher education. We provide general solicitation and procurement question support and assistance with resources and referrals. So we can also help you in understanding how to market your business, where to look for market research, where you can find opportunities and solicitations and discretionary spending opportunities, including state price agreements and Office of the Information Technology Enterprise agreements. So we can also help you in preparing and submitting your bid response, including finding available training and consultant workshops. Please note that our assistance does not provide an unfair advantage. So if it is very specific to a solicitation, we will typically refer that out to other resources. We can also help you with questions that you may have regarding bonding and if it's needed on particular projects for the state, and if you need help finding access to capital or other business certification information. Our office manages the Supply Diversity Directory. Any business registered and in good standing with the state of Colorado, Secretary of State, can apply for a free directory listing and you'll receive not only increased visibility to buyers across the state, but also just another great way to market your business free of charge. Business size and ownership verification. So we have several different levels of verification. So we can check to see if not only if you are a small business, if you're located in a hub zone, if you are a diverse business, which includes businesses that are historically underutilized, or a green business that is also part of the Green Business Network. So we offer upcoming training and event notifications, and you're also able to use our logos on your promotional materials as a verified business. As I mentioned earlier, the directory is a public-facing tool the state and local government employees utilize, as well as the public can find your local small and diverse business. We offer additional assistance in construction bonding. So if you are a contractor that is interested in working on a state project, typically state construction projects require that if you are working in the lead or as a prime, that you have a bond for the project that you are working on. If you would like additional information on what surety bonding is, we provide a free bonding 101 training that is self-directed. So you could find additional information on what surety bonding is, or if you need additional technical assistance or referral out, we can provide those as well. We also do have a free construction guide for contractors that will distinguish the differences between doing construction, vertical construction and horizontal construction, and what some of those compliance requirements look like and who you should reach out to for either CDOT projects or projects that are run through the state architect's office as well. The state has a few preferences, one in particular, which is a 3% service-disabled veteran-owned small business goal. Currently, the state offers one procurement statutory goal, which is 3% for service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. This helps for businesses that are interested in working with the state. We can provide a 3% bid preference. It is a discretionary tool that allows for service-disabled veterans to not only be able to be a little bit more competitive on open solicitations, but also aligns with our mission of economic empowerment for Colorado veteran community. And beyond the economic impact, we find that veteran-owned businesses bring incredible value to state projects. They often operate with a military-grade discipline. They prioritize safety-first cultures, and they possess deep logistical expertise, all of which are vital for successful state contracts. If you are a veteran business owner or know of one looking to navigate this process, remember that the business support services are available through the Colorado Apex Accelerator. There is no provision for our goals or preferences based on race or gender. However, there is a procurement rule that encourages those who make purchases on behalf of the state of Colorado to maximize opportunities for small and diverse businesses. We provide these live webinars once a month. We will be partnering with other state agencies and institutions of higher education. So if you would like to find out about specific institutions of higher education or agencies, please do sign up for our webinars. There will be a link provided in this presentation that we will make available to all of you who have attended. You can also reach out to our purchasing office, which runs our Access Colorado, which is 3 steps of how to do business with the state and how you can register your business to receive notifications if you are interested in working with the state. If you'd like to view previous presentations that we've done with other institutions of higher education or agencies, you could log into our YouTube channel, and we have those presentations on demand. Lastly, if you do have questions or we can be of assistance, this is a QR code to reach out to us through our navigator. We can be reached also by email or phone, and assistance requests can also be made by this QR code. We're happy to assist with any questions that you may have about your specific process, or specific business needs. So please feel free to reach out. And now the moment that you're waiting for, we'll pass it over to Kathy, who will share with you information on the Department of Agriculture, and she will take it from here. So thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today and giving me time of your day. So just want to start off. I am the Procurement Director for the Department of Agriculture. So in brief, we support a lot of the farmers, ranchers, to make sure they are providing the best food, consumer information, and also testing, and also, a lot of related resources connected to that. That's really our focus. We do a lot of grants as well at CDA. So we'll dive in more to that, but I just wanted to share this information with you guys to get us started. I'm not going to read this out, so the PowerPoint will be provided. So making sure, make the best use of your time here as well. Our mission, vision, and our core values are stated there. Please take a look at our website. It has a lot of great information, resources, contact info for applicable divisions. I'll go into next. So please take a look at that when you guys have a moment. Can you go to the next slide, Sarah? Thank you. So we have about 10 divisions. When I started here, we only had 8. So we're continuing to grow. And as we continue to grow, we also spend more. So in the grant realm and the procurement realm. So a lot of it is construction for state fair, and then a lot of it is also discretionary too. We do compete for some solicitations in between throughout the year, but a lot of it is discretionary, and we'll go over that. The divisions that we procure mostly for are state fair for construction, markets. We have a lot of activities and procurements and grants for markets. Plants are probably the least. Brands have a little bit more unique purchases, like we do trucks, vehicles. We're working on fleet management right now with them. And then animal welfare and animal health are 2 of the ones that are kind of unique in a way to procure, but they are discretionary as well. So we do like services to make sure animals are protected, that they're not being abused or anything. And if they are abused, our Bureau of Animal Protection can also procure services to house them temporarily in a shelter, and then rehome them appropriately. So those are some of the examples of the more common divisions that procure or have a lot of purchasing activity. All right, next slide. And to give you a brief overview, this is really a high-level structure of our organization. Our commissioner kind of oversees everything in our different divisions. It is a little bit outdated, but it is accurate as of this day. And just having that for you guys as well is just high level. These groups support these programs. And then procurement covers all of these for grants and purchasing as well. Okay, so next slide. All right, so just general information just to support our small businesses and businesses that are new to the state. The discretionary threshold is up to 50,000, so we don't have to compete. We give our staff flexibility to pick and choose whoever they want to procure with, as long as they meet other state requirements. So if it's less than 50,000, that gives them the first level approval to consider pursuing any vendor that they want. Next is really just kind of looking at the T's and C's, and then fits, time frame, and all that. So we leave that really to the staff to decide and determine what's best for them. When it gets to the procurement team, it moves forward pretty smoothly. And a lot of what we do is also through co-op agreements as well, and I'll cover that in a little bit. But some examples of what we procured, like I mentioned earlier, we do a lot of services at the state. And CDA in particular does a lot of professional temp services. So administrative support, we do need that in our Broomfield office, but also we have locations throughout the different divisions, and our locations are pretty much spread throughout the state. So we have some in State Fair, we have some in Monte Vista, and various locations that there are small, but we still need administrative support in those areas as well. We do a lot of maintenance or just a lot of things. So it could be anywhere from like general businesses maintenance for office upkeep, computer maintenance, software kind of related to that. We do a lot of advertising for some of our Color Proud program. You'll see those little labels in the grocery store saying Color Proud. One of our divisions manages that program as well. We do a lot of consulting services, hotels, and other services related to agriculture too. We have a lab that also does like those scales. So you see when you're at the grocery store, there's a little icon there saying it's been approved by CDA, Department of Agriculture. One of our teams goes and check out each scale to make sure it's weighing your fruits and vegetables appropriately before you check out. So that's part of what we do as well. So part of maintenance and part of services we provide. A lot of the goods we procure are really common office stuff. So computer hardware, accessories, We do general office supplies as well. If we don't get them from IDS, we procure them from like Office Depot. We do a lot of Amazon purchases, but we are starting to use the Amazon filter. So they are small business. It could be identified in there. That kind of helps our agency meet the requirement, that 3% requirement as well. So Amazon's another platform we use. We do a lot of miscellaneous swag. Everyone always needs swag. Our comms team does a lot of that, and ColorPal does a lot of that as well. A few of the other divisions do it too, like HR does it for internal staff and similar. So those are some of the examples we procure at the discretionary level. And we don't want to force it. We are trying to work together to build like some kind of like starter list for our staff to kind of start, because they don't know where to start too. So we don't have that yet. So down the road, we are hoping to put that together. Same thing with the state. I don't think there's really a discretionary list of vendors since, it's at your choice, but that's something we hope to put together in the future. So if you are on that list, I think that would give them a head start. But then again, it's at the staff's discretion to move forward. But more to come, but please check our website to make sure you have access to information, or at least to me, and I can certainly keep you guys in the loop if we do end up putting like some kind of list together. For opportunities with the state, so a lot of it is at our website. We do post a lot of our grant activities there. So we wrapped up our Climate Smart grant program actually last year. This year we pursued it as a procurement. So it was about $30,000 per awarded vendor, and that gave them opportunity to maximize use of funds, either to increase footprint for climate smart activities, build their businesses to support farmers, ranchers. A few examples that we did was we gave funds to Primitive Beer to expand their footprint, not only help their business, but also they were working on like wheat and barley to kind of help expand that area. So that supported the mission of that program. So it was more of a procurement instead of a grant for the opportunity. So it'll come and go, but as funds are available, please check our website, and that's where we will post a lot of our future opportunities and competitive bids. We will cover that in the next future slides. Next one. All right, so co-ops used, we follow the state price agreements. That is our standard go-to for a lot of the common purchases here. So a lot of advertising, marketing services, cloud solutions, and down that list, temp and personal services. We try to procure from there first, but there are cases where we just can't get it from the standard state price agreements, and they are discretionary. So in those cases, we can do an RFI to kind of post what's out in the market. Do we have like a unique need that's just really not something we can compete out, but still need to buy? That's really where we have to be creative on like, who can I start with? What vendor can I pursue? So we start there. Just wanted to share that with you guys. So if there is an opportunity to come from the state, that is managed by the SPCO office, where they would compete and do multiple awards to get on a price agreement. So we do get a lot of confusion from vendors saying, how do I get on your list? How do I become a preferred vendor? So what I mentioned there, that's how folks become a state price agreement vendor. It is competed, so you can become one of our state price agreement vendors. If you click on the link, it's broken down by commodity, by contract, and vendor. So that's where we start on the staff end. So if you want to pursue future opportunities, please sign up for SPCO's newsletters. You'll get notified of opportunities to come. Most of those contracts are, I think, 5 years, so they renew every year. Once it reaches that 5 years, then they plan to bid it before the contract expires. So kind of look at that cycle for the next opportunity. All right, next slide. All right, and then information for competitive bids. So we do compete when it's appropriate. So it doesn't always have to be 50,000, but 50 is like really our starting point for when we do a DQ, which is a different type of solicitation. It's a shorter time frame, so 50,000 to 350 services or goods, or a combination of those is in consideration at that dollar amount. We also consider the total amount of the contract. So if it's like a contract you want for 5 years, at 50,000, we count the total cost of that 5 years at 50,000 per year. That's the cost to consider when we solicit out for the DQ process. It's like a mini RFP where you post for 3 days. It should be more straightforward. Like if we're buying like an instrument for our lab and it's 150,000, it's over 50, but it's not quite 350, but it's a straightforward purchase. So that's when we compete it out. Turnaround time for those procurements are pretty quick. Should be straightforward purchases where we get a quote, looks good. We go through the procurement process of vetting T's and C's and issuing purchase order for those type of procurements. For an RFP, those are more lengthy and can take some time. RFPs are the more common ones that we do at the state at CDA. We don't really do as many ITNs, so those are invitations to negotiate, but we do a lot of IFBs for construction. So preference is always DQ, and then we do RFPs and invitations to bid for construction. Invitations to negotiate are usually our higher, more complex procurements for software, and we procure through OIT. So in brief, we let OIT manage it and we just pay them for that procurement. But those are the more common procurement types that we do. We use the threshold as a starting point, but then again, it is at our discretion if we want to bid at a lower amount, we can, but it will be posted at the same site on Colorado VSS. So some of the common goods we do are landscaping services, janitorial services. We just completed those contracts about a year ago, and we just did the option letter for a year too. So 3 years from now, we'll be in our 5th year, and we will compete again once it gets around like 4.5 years. We will do that same process for those multi-year procurements that we need year round. So it'll likely be another RFP once it gets down there. The only time where we don't follow that normal 5-year cycle is if the contract is no longer working out, the vendor fails to perform, or those are the reasons where we would have to get out contractually. But we typically follow that 5-year cycle because that's the standard with the state. Very few exceptions for 10-year, which we do have one, which is ag loan, which is kind of hard to compete out. So we did an ITN through SBCO for that. But a lot of other things we do are advertising, construction, and software. And I'll go more into those in the next few slides. But do check the Colorado VSS. That's the public vendor facing site where you can view all of our competitive solicitation, and it's not just for CDA, it's for the state in general. You'll see all the agencies. If you know how to filter it, you can see what's open, what's been closed. You can see historical information of what's been competed back in like 2014, who was it awarded to, or if there was no award. You can see the dollar amounts, and it's all like great information to kind of get you started if you want to do a little more digging of what agency procures what. Historically, you know, if this contract was awarded in this time frame, they should be by their 5-year time frame, and hopefully it's coming up for renewal. So it's a great resource. It's not always user intuitive, but if you have questions on how to access or registration, you would have to contact the Colorado VSS team. That is a whole different group. So just letting folks know we post it there, but technical questions goes to a different team. You can reach out to the purchase agent listed in that particular solicitation if you have questions regarding the purchase request. So content-wise, purchasing agent, technical-wise, Colorado VSS team. So that's where we'll post it. The upcoming opportunity that's kind of in the works right now is probably September, is for advertising services for our state fair. Our current contract with this vendor is about $1 million every year because they do like everything. This vendor currently does the management, the coordinating. They are like the experts with the things that their different team needs, and they need them throughout the year. And it's like events after events. So that's why it's a high dollar contract, but they are in the end of their contract, and they're hoping to solicit in the future. We're aiming for September, but no guarantees, with the start date of January 2027 for their new vendor. Right now they use AdPro for their services, and I think we really just want to see what's out there, but it does not preclude any prior vendors or current vendors from competing. That's our procurement process. It's fair and open competition to all vendors to respond. So please check Colorado VSS for that. More to come. Once it's posted, it'll be available there, but that's the only one that's really high priority for me to post out soon. Right. And then same thing here, construction opportunities. We also post it on Colorado VSS. Please do filter it by type because construction procurement does follow a slightly different process. It's governed by our Office of State Architects. So the construction contracts are a little bit different. The process for managing those procurements, that's why we do have a separate guide on that as well. It's handled a little bit differently, and although similar, it doesn't follow the same kind of rules or parameters as standard procurement. So we don't have any upcoming opportunities yet. Our delegate for construction projects is Scott Roloff. His contact info is there. We currently have a few big projects that we're trying to close out, but I think probably down towards the fall, we'll have more opportunities of either expanding current projects for discretionary purchases, such as engineer review or plan review for construction projects. So those are usually our discretionary purchases. Other than that, they're really big multi-dollar complex projects too. Next slide. And then just listing out a couple of our projects that are more common for construction space. So State Fair has a lot of them. I know State Fair is like a smaller division in a way, but they also do a lot and they have a high footprint for our construction activities. So they're always updating the architecture over there, the buildings, the gates. And then as you may have seen in the news, like the governor was so focused on that Gate 5 remodel. We were very careful on like competing that out and making sure the vendor we selected did a good job to make sure both gates matched. So that's what the Gate 5 remodel is. The fire alarm project was one that we had to like rush through. It's really, you know, the security over there was a concern. So we had to quickly solicit that out through the IFB process and secured a vendor. And now they're just kind of working it out, making sure specs are there, security's up to date and that it works appropriately. Because before then, the current system was triggering like the fire department like every hour for like quite some time. So it was pretty concerning. But those are some of our projects for State Fair. We do a lot for them. And though they're far and I'm in the Brimford location, I do support them as well. Another construction project that we started about a year ago is at the insectary location. So we did like a greenhouse expansion. They had one that worked well, but then they needed more rooms. They're kind of interesting because they in a way grow bugs, and those bugs are then like sold to help farmers like better grow their crops or offset some of the bugs that are ruining their crops. So this is interesting what they do. So they expanded that greenhouse to make sure they can have proper resources and support for the farmers and ranchers in those areas. And they, you know, ship bugs out too. So it's pretty interesting. So please do take a look at the OSA website. Their contracts are a little bit different from the traditional state procurement contracts. As Joe has mentioned, there is unique resources and guidance for construction. And, you know, we get a lot of questions on bonding, how to do that. How does that look like? How to provide that to the state? Do I need to provide power of attorney with my bonds and those kind of stuff? So it's a little bit different, but please take a look at that. It's all public information. It's not a secret. So the more you know, the better equipped you guys will be to respond to future construction opportunities pretty smoothly. All right, next slide. All right, and I think just really just sum it up here. If you guys have questions for CDA, so anything agriculture, who to contact, or for requests, you know, you can send that to the procurement teams. Our general inbox is there, and we will coordinate or filter as needed. But if you have questions for purchasing, what's to come up, or for share opportunities, please reach out to me. So I'm the procurement director. My contact info is there. And then again, you know, if you can't get a hold of me, certainly reach out to the supplier diversity team. They engage with us quite often, so you know we can certainly connect. Please take a look at the resources available here. A lot of it is public information, so the more you have, the better you guys will be. And then I think I covered everything. Our office, supplier diversity's contact, and then the contracts office as well. So those are all available for vendors to utilize. And I think that's all I have for my slides, and then we'll open up to questions, right? Okay. Is there any questions that came in, Joe? Sir?
So thank you, Kathy, for your presentation. We'll now open it